recall. Of course, come is a very, very important command, the most important, if you ask me. And the reason why we want to always work on come, even if he comes to you in the house, if he comes to you in the yard, you take him to the park, he comes to you, that's great. But we want to make sure that we're constantly working on come. He needs to come every single time we ask him to. And if you do take him out, don't let him off the leash. If you're working on commands, and let's say you go to the park or something like that, I highly recommend getting, let me grab this right here, one of these guys. This is a very long training leash, and they can go up to 30 feet. So if you're going to work on commands with him, and let's say that you guys go to the beach or something, maybe there's not too many people there, that's a perfect time. Definitely utilize one of those really long training leashes. At that point, when you know that Kuma has mastered, let's say, stay, and you want to work on stay with distance, using that long training lead, you can work on that. But if he decides that he's not going to stay that time, you can still maintain complete control over Kuma. Alright, but when we're working on recall, especially if you're doing it at home, always use a leash. Now you don't have to use the really long training leashes like these ones here. Of course, you can use just a regular leash, the 6-foot leash, or we have these little guys here. In regards to walking Kuma, I highly recommend a slip lead. This is one that fits right up at the top part of the neck here, and it really prevents any of the dogs from backing out, especially if they have their little stubborn streaks. They don't want to go forward, but you do. They start that action where they kind of brace themselves and hold themselves back a little bit. That point in time, it's easy for them to back out of a regular collar or a harness even. So having a slip lead here gives us the opportunity to still have Kuma come with us wherever we're going, but not have to worry about him backing out of his collar or his harness. Alright, so as you can see, he's all leashed up over here, and when we're working on come, we want to try to build that drive. So by asking Kuma to come to us, we're going to make sure that we're real excited, and because he's a little bit indifferent to things around here, it helps to have a little bit of food with you. So treats in your pocket or in a bag, working on the come. And also when you're working with him, and let's say you ask Kuma to come to you and maybe there's a situation where he got away for a little bit, you're a little irritated, he hasn't come back to you for a little bit, and then finally he decides to come. At that point in time, you know, we're a little upset that our dog didn't come to us, but we want to refrain from portraying that emotion. We always want to be extremely excited that our dogs are coming back to us. And even if it takes a little bit, when they finally come to us, we need to be very positive and make sure that every single time they have an interaction with us in regards to recall, it is always pleasant. And we need to make sure that that happens every single time. So, like I said, you're practicing in the house, utilize your lead. You don't have to have a long one, and then we're going to work on building our drive now. Now, when we build drive, we're going to kind of get a little bit lower to the ground. We're going to get excited. And when we do that, it will be easier for Kuma to come to us. Now, when we ask a dog to come and we're standing up and we stand over like this and we ask our dogs to come, it's a little intimidating. So if you think that maybe Kuma doesn't want to come and you're standing up like this, come, not working, try to get to his level. Kuma, come. Be really welcoming, open arms. You want him to be excited to come to you. Alright, so there's a little bit of distractions out here with people and dogs. He's on high alert. That's alright. But just remember, if you're working on things for the very first time, let's say you're teaching him a new trick, you're teaching him how to crawl or something fun like that, Do it in an environment that doesn't have a lot of distractions. If there are tons and tons of distractions everywhere, the dog will not absorb quite as much. So a lot of distractions equal less learning. And because we already know, Kuma knows what come is, but he just needs a little bit of brushing up. Having a little bit of these distractions around is ideal. All right, so we have our treats here in our pocket, our high-value treats, and what we're going to be doing is asking Kuma to come, putting our treats in our hand, closing it like so. And when we do have a higher value treat and we ask our dogs to come, we can do it like this. So when we have our treat in our hand, it goes down to the dog's eye level. At that point, the dog notices that we have something in our hand, and then we can bring it back up when they come to our feet. This is going to put them at a sit. And at that point in time, gives you the opportunity to reach around, secure them by their collar, and make sure that they're safe. And just remember, we're always going to have a positive attitude when our dogs, we ask our dogs to come to us. So, treat in hand, close the fist, and ask Kuma to come. And if he doesn't come immediately, that's okay. That's why we have our lead. We're just going to help him along just a little bit. But in regards to building the drive, that's when we get very excited. So we're going to ask Kuma to come to us. Kuma, come. Where he's going to be very excited. Well, hopefully a little bit more excited than he is right now. He's extremely calm and he's just soaking everything up right now. When we ask Kuma to come while we have him on lead, again, we're building that drive. Get him excited. Kuma, come. And then at that point, when he comes to us, we have our treat here. Bring it back up. He's going to go to a sit, gives us the opportunity to secure him by his collar, attach a lead or whatever, and then we're able to treat him. All right, so he's being stubborn right now. He does not want to go anywhere. I'm sure you guys know this because he stops quite frequently on the lead, not wanting to go anywhere at all. So, this point in time, we're going to help him come towards us. This is the reason why I don't want a huge lead right now, give us a lot of distance. I want to be relatively close to him when I ask him to come. Good sit. Good boy. Come on, good boy. Yeah, good boy. Good. All right, so we always want to make sure that he sits when he comes to us. This needs to become a habit, and maybe he'll be a little bit reluctant to follow through with everything at the very beginning, but just remember, he needs to follow through with every command. If you give him something simple to do like sit, he doesn't want to do it. Don't ignore it. Don't move on to anything else. He has to sit down. And while he may be a little stubborn sometimes, having that food, the motivation factor, of course we're not his owners, so having the affection part, that might be more beneficial when he is interacting with his family. However, with the new people, maybe he doesn't know us too well, having food here definitely helps us work with him. So just remember, we have Kuma here and we're trying to build that drive. Get very, very excited, get a little bit lower to his level. After he gets into the habit of coming towards you when you ask him to, then you can utilize your food and actually give a signal this way. And if it needs be, you can get a little bit lower to the ground. Good boy. Good come. All right, so let's try that sit right now since he's here. Sit. A little bit stubborn, that's okay. Just remember, we need to follow through every single time we ask him to sit. No? Sit. Good boy. Sit. Good sit. Good, sit. Good. All right, and I know Sarah utilizes the clicker. I mark the behaviors with a yes or a good. So if you have a clicker, that's great. If not, yes or good at the certain points in time when you want to pinpoint that specific behavior and encourage him to do it. All right, so try to work on the come at home, in the house, short lead. Gradually, when you know that he will come to you every single time you call him, move to a different location. You can go outside, still, on the lead. Make sure he comes to you every single time. If he needs a little bit of help, you can try to help build that drive again, get a little bit lower, very excited. Kuma, Kuma, come, come, come. Get him super excited to come to you. And then use your hand signal after you're confident that he'll be coming to you after you build the drive. So, this has been Nicole here with Kuma. We've just been talking about recall, how to get Kuma to come to us, and of course, we don't want to set him up for failure, so don't let him off the leash in any place where you don't think that he'll come to you every single time. And this is one of the basic commands, and it's very, very, very important. It's a life-saving command. You want to make sure that your dog knows this and comes to you every single time. And of course, he's such a sweet boy. Who wouldn't want him to come to them? And he's always very, very well behaved. But this has been Nicole here with Kuma going over recall. We'll see you later. Bye.